Welcome back. That last segment was an important one, but we left you on a bit of a cliffhanger. So before we dive in, let's do a quick recap. In the last session, we talked about how money and different forms of it get its value. Not necessarily from gold and definitely not from paper, but what really matters is trust and scarcity. And the problem today is that fiat money has one, but not the other. We also broke down the three essential functions of money: medium of exchange, unit of account, and store of value. We then looked at how our current system, fiat money, is no longer backed by anything physical and scarce, and how endless money printing is leading to inflation, eroding your purchasing power every single year. From 19-cent cheeseburgers in 1940 to $2.50 today, it's pretty clear. The more money that is being printed, the less that each dollar is worth. And that's where Bitcoin comes in, a decentralized form of money built to solve the very problems that our fiat money creates. So let's explain what Bitcoin is again. Remember, Bitcoin is a decentralized digital currency that is finite and exists outside of the control of governments and banks. Now that all might sound complicated, but don't worry. We've got a video from our friends at Tuttle Twins that explains it in a way that's much easier to understand. Take a look.
When money is easy to make, society begins to break.
So how do we make money that's easy to carry but hard to create?
Well, one solution is Bitcoin. Back in 2008, I became fed up with government money, with the corruption, the manipulation, so I created a digital currency. Digital money that can be sent directly from one person to another without any bank or government involved. And the best part? It's hard money.
It's the hardest money ever invented!
Bitcoin is very hard to make more of. Each new coin gets added to the supply only after a computer works very hard to solve a math problem, where there's no shortcut and solving it costs a lot of energy and time.
Okay, but if it's on a computer, can't I just copy and paste?
Not with Bitcoin. You see, there's a public record of every Bitcoin ever created. It's called the blockchain. It's like a puzzle, and each Bitcoin has its own unique shape. And because everyone has a copy of the public record, if someone tries to fake a Bitcoin, it won't fit the puzzle and will be rejected by the network before anyone can use it. That's why Bitcoin is so safe from criminals and the government.
You said criminals twice.
And unlike dollars, which can be printed endlessly, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. It's almost impossible to inflate. The only way to get it is to earn it or buy it from someone who has.
Aha!
No offense, but if you control Bitcoin, couldn't you manipulate it just like the government?
I don't control it. No one person does. It's controlled by a public network of Bitcoin users that anyone can join. So if someone wanted to change something in Bitcoin's code, they would need to get the majority of the millions of Bitcoin users to agree to it, or the change doesn't happen. And when has the majority of us agreed on anything?
One-ply toilet paper is garbage!
Touché.
Wow, I didn't know made-up money could make so much sense.
Today, millions of people send Bitcoin instantly and cheaply to each other around the world without any bank or government involved. And because Bitcoin is hard money you can't just print more of, the more people who use it, the more valuable it becomes.
Emily, if we take Lyle's Bitcoin, we could be rich!
I could pay for college entirely! You could outsource your movie and pay to have your name in the credits.
Slow down. I'm not saying that Bitcoin will make you rich quick, or even at all. Right now, only about 1% of the world owns Bitcoin. And because it's still being adopted, some days it goes up and even down.
Also, investments, though potentially lucrative, can be risky.
Only invest what you're willing to lose. We know. Wow, I think I get it. Good money should be easy to use, but hard to create.
And because Bitcoin is digital, it's fast and cheap to use. And the blockchain makes it hard to inflate.
Thanks, Mr. Satoshi.
What?
Mr. Satoshi?
He's gone? Or was he ever even here?
Perfect. We hope that gives you a clearer understanding of what Bitcoin is and what it aims to achieve. So let's break down these core ideas a bit further. First, decentralization. Bitcoin is completely decentralized. It's not controlled by a government, corporation, or a central bank. It is completely governed by its users. Every node on the network is a guardian of the system, and anyone, anywhere, can run their own node to help secure that network. There is no single point of control. Now, compare this to fiat money. Ask yourself, how easy would it be for you to print your own money or to start your own bank? The answer is obvious. It's nearly impossible. Fiat is centralized and Bitcoin is not. Fiat controls everyone, while Bitcoin is owned by everyone, and that's great. So let's move on to scarcity. Bitcoin is finite. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoins in existence. That number is hard-coded into the system, and changing it would require an overwhelming consensus across the network. In other words, it's practically impossible. Now again, ask yourself, how many dollars can be printed? Well, just take a look at this graph. The answer is unlimited. So think about it this way. If dollars are infinite and Bitcoin is capped at 21 million, the future value of Bitcoin becomes a matter of simple math. As more fiat currency floods the system, each Bitcoin becomes more valuable by comparison. So finally, independence. Bitcoin operates completely outside of the control of governments and banks. No single person or entity can change its rules, freeze your assets, or block your transactions. So that's not just revolutionary, it's powerful. It means Bitcoin is censorship resistant. If you want to send your Bitcoin from one wallet to another, there is no authority on earth that can stop you. Not a government, not a central bank, and not a tech company. And that right there is what makes Bitcoin so different and so important. So let's move forward. You might now be thinking, how much does one Bitcoin cost? Or as I like to think about it, how much does it cost today to buy a little bit of freedom? Well, at the time of this recording, one Bitcoin costs around 117,000 US dollars. That's a lot. For most people, it's completely out of reach. So how can Bitcoin be considered an open, accessible system when the price to acquire one is so high? Well, here's the cool part. You don't have to own one whole Bitcoin. Just like a dollar can be divided and broken up into 100 cents, one Bitcoin can be divided into 100 million units. These are called Satoshis. That means that in order to get the smallest fraction or the smallest unit of a Bitcoin, it would cost you less than a cent. So yes, you can get started with whatever you have to spare. Anyone can buy a small piece of Bitcoin to help protect their purchasing power against the ongoing erosion caused by fiat money. Okay, so that's all great, but how does it actually work? And what does it mean for Bitcoin to be completely decentralized? Well, let me explain. Bitcoin is made up of three key participants: the users, the nodes, and the miners. The users are people like you and me who send Bitcoin from one address to another. The nodes are computers that verify transactions and enforce the rules of the network. They make sure that no false transactions are added onto the blockchain. And finally, the miners are specialized computers that solve complex mathematical puzzles to add blocks of transactions to the blockchain. So let's talk about what that blockchain is. And you can simply think of it as a public ledger where every single Bitcoin transaction is recorded. Roughly every 10 minutes, a new page or block of transactions gets added to this ledger. Miners compete to solve a puzzle, and the winner gets to add the next block of verified transactions to the chain. The nodes keep a full copy of this blockchain and double check every new transaction. If someone attempts to submit a false transaction, the nodes immediately spot the mismatch and reject it. The result, a secure, transparent, and decentralized system where no one can cheat. So how does a transaction actually work and what is the process? Well, let me take you through it. Let's say that I want to move Bitcoin from point A or address A to address B. I create and sign this transaction using my Bitcoin wallet. That transaction is then sent to the network of nodes, which verify it according to the rules. Once verified, it sits in the mempool, a waiting area with thousands of other transactions. Once a miner solves the current puzzle, a new block is added to the chain and my transaction is officially confirmed. This entire process, from initiation to confirmation, is visible to anyone. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. Full transparency and zero middlemen. Now, let's zoom out. All of this might seem like magic, but it didn't appear out of nowhere. Bitcoin is the result of decades of work combining cryptography, distributed systems, and economic theory. Its greatest breakthrough? Solving the problem of enforcing absolute scarcity in a digital and decentralized system using a method called proof of work. And today, the Bitcoin network continues to evolve. Transactions are getting faster and cheaper. Millions of people around the world are already benefiting from these innovations, and many more are just getting started. So with that foundation in place, we'll move from theory to practice. So I'll see you in the next segment, where we're gonna put everything that we've just learned into action.